Hello guys, welcome to an episode of the Terror Zone. Today on our Terror Zone, we take us to a princess with a frog. An unfortunate curse that brought them all to torture and more. Now I'll be looking into the origins of the Princess and the Frog. There was once a beautiful young princess who every morning plays catch with a golden ball near a well. One day, she accidentally drops the ball into the well. She watches it go down into the well and cries on the uncertainty at the moment. A frog pops out and hears all the commotion. He offers to go and get the ball for her, only if, and this is by quote, "love me and accept me as a companion and playmate, and me sit next to you at your table and eat from your golden plate and drink from your cup and sleep in your bed. If you will promise this to me, then I'll drive down and bring your golden ball to you." That was the promise the frog made for her. This kind of ties into the Tiana having a restaurant dream instead of a golden ball, and Naveen making a offer. The princess consoles this decision by disgusted by the frog. She thinks about it, but eventually she agrees. The frog gets the ball for her and she grabs it without saying a word. She runs away, hoping that the frog wouldn't follow her. The next day, she was eating dinner with her dad, the king, when there was a knock at the door. She later finds out that it is the frog, so she slams the door shut and went back to her seat. Of course, the king asked who it was, and the princess had to explain the whole story. The king was actually on the princess on the frog side of things, and thinks that the princess should follow by the promise and order and go by what she promised him. So she brings the frog into dinner with her and eats with her, and does everything the king tells her to do. Take the frog with her upstairs to bed. So she gets everything together, puts up the bed, and plans to put the frog with her. The frog begs her to sleep with her, but the princess gets tired of all this ordering around. She couldn't stand it anymore, even though she was doing everything that the king told her to do, and the frog wanted to do. The princess got tired of it, and eventually she throws the frog into the wall, splattering blood all over, killing him. But it turns him into a prince. They were married with a horse-drawn carriage and everything, along with a servant who was under a spell. Turns out the frog was under a curse that a shadow man put on him. And along with the curse, the servant was chained up, feeling like he was a servant to the shadow man, until he was free and fully accepted into his role as a servant to help the prince out. The end. So the servant is sort of like Lawrence in the story in a way, where he was locked in and working for Shadow Man at the time when this was happening. Other stories. Ray's story. Now, unlike the Prince of the Frog story, Ray has his own story to tell as well. This kind of just tied into the original story as well. Fun fact, though, Tiana's restaurant was based on a true story about a girl who wanted the restaurant too. So this is also a mix of a story of Princess of the Frog and a real story. Also, this was also based on voodoo culture itself, within the story as well. Also, about Ray's story, though. Ray's story is actually about a man who once had a beautiful wife, and they had a lovely family together. But one of them passed away. So just like Ray, when he looks at the stars, that's when she sees her. That's just like the story. She gets sick and she has to think of her this way. So it's an unfortunate love story that came into a Firefly story. Cute, eh? The Curse. The Curse changes through different stories in Prince of the Frog versions. One version has the frog singing everything he wanted. And instead of throwing him to the wall, he had to chop off his head and burn him. In one of the versions, though, she also had to pin her needles into the frog's foot as well to change him back. It wasn't until 1980 where the kissing idea came in, and that all became different. There was also another story where the princess was turned into a frog as well, and every time she changed, it turned more ugly and uglier. And that different versions of the Princess of the Frog. What do you guys think? Tell in the comments below what stories I should tell next. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.